In 1899, John Jacob Astor IV invested $100,000 for Tesla to further develop and produce a new lighting system instead. Tesla used the money to fund his Colorado Springs experiment. On January the 7th, 1900, Tesla left Colorado Springs. His lab was torn down in 1905 and its contents were sold to satisfy a debt. The Colorado experiments had prepared Tesla for the establishment of the transatlantic wireless telecommunications facility known as Wardenclyffe near Shoreham, Long Island. On August the 7th, 1901, the New York Tribune did an article named Tesla Ready for Business. This concerned the Tesla coil wireless transmitter. Its U.S. patent is 1119732. Tesla's Wardenclyffe plant in Long Island in 1905 is where Tesla hoped to demonstrate wireless transmission of electrical energy across the Atlantic. In 1900, with $150,000 US, more than $3 million today, 51% from J. Pierpont Morgan, Tesla began planning Wardenclyffe Tower facility. Tesla later approached Morgan to ask for more funds to build a more powerful transmitter. When asked where all the money had gone, Tesla responded by saying that he was affected by the Panic of 1901, which he, Morgan, had caused. Morgan was shocked by the reminder of his part in the stock market crash and by Tesla's breach of contract by asking for more funds. Tesla wrote another plea to Morgan, but it was also fruitless. Morgan still owed Tesla money on the original agreement, and Tesla had been facing foreclosure even before construction of the tower began. In December 1901, Marconi successfully transmitted the letter S from England to Newfoundland, terminating Tesla's relationship with Morgan. Over the next 5 years, Tesla wrote over 50 letters to Morgan pleading for and demanding additional funding to complete the construction of Wardenclyffe. Tesla continued his project for another 9 months. The tower was raised to its full 187 feet in July 1903. Tesla wrote to Morgan that in addition to wireless communication, Wardenclyffe would be capable of wireless transmission of electric power. On 14 October 1904, Morgan finally replied through his secretary stating, "It will be impossible for me to do anything in the matter." After Tesla had written to Morgan when the financier was meeting with the Archbishop of Canterbury in an attempt to appeal to his Christian spirit. In June 1902, Tesla's lab operations were moved to Wardenclyffe from Houston Street. On his 50th birthday in 1906, Tesla demonstrated his 200 HP, 150 kW, 16,000 RPM bladeless turbine. During 1910 to 1911, at the Waterside Power Station in New York, several of his bladeless turbine engines were tested at 100 through 5,000 HP. Tesla invented a steam-powered mechanical oscillator. While experimenting with mechanical oscillators at his Houston Street lab, Tesla allegedly generated a resonance of several buildings. As the speed grew, it is said that the machine oscillated at the resonance frequency of his own building, and by belatedly realizing the danger, he was forced to use a sledgehammer to terminate the experiment just as the police arrived. In February 1912, an article, Nikola Tesla, Dreamer, by Alan L. Benson, was published in World Today, in which An artist's illustration appears showing the entire Earth cracked in half with the caption, "Tesla claims that in a few weeks he could set the Earth's crust into such a state of vibration that it would rise and fall hundreds of feet and practically destroy civilization. A continuation of the process would, he says, eventually split the Earth in two." After Whiting-Cliff, Tesla built the Telefunken wireless station in Sayville, Long Island. Some of what he wanted to achieve at Whiting-Cliff was accomplished with the Telefunken wireless. In 1917, the tower was seized and blown up with dynamite for scrap by the Marines, owing to fears that German spies were using it and it could be used as a landmark for German submarines. Before World War I, 1914 to 1918, Tesla looked overseas for investments to fund his research. When the war started, Tesla lost the funding he was receiving from his patents in European countries. During this time, Tesla was staying at Waldorf Astoria Hotel, renting in an arrangement for deferred payments. Eventually, the Wardenclyffe deed was turned over to George Bolt, proprietor of the Waldorf Astoria, to pay a $20,000 debt, about $400,000 today. In 1917, around the time that the Wardenclyffe Tower was demolished by Bolt to make the land a more viable real estate asset, Tesla received AIEE's highest honor, the Edison Medal. In August 1917, Tesla first established the principle of frequency and power level for the first primitive radar unit. On November 6, 1915, a Reuters news agency report from London had the 1950 Nobel Prize of Physics awarded to Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. However, on November the 15th, a Reuters story from Stockholm stated the prize that year was being awarded to Sir William Henry Bragg and William Lawrence Bragg for their service in the analysis of crystal structure by means of X-ray. There were unsubstantial rumors at the time that Tesla and/or Edison had refused the prize. The Nobel Foundation declined to comment on the rumors other than saying, "Any rumor that a person has not been given a Nobel Peace Prize because he has made known his intentions to refuse the reward is ridiculous. A recipient could only decline a Nobel Prize after he is announced a winner." There have been substantial claims by Tesla biographers that Edison and Tesla were the original recipients and that neither was given the award because of their animosity towards each other, that each sought to minimize the other's achievements and rights to win the award, that both refused even to accept the award if the other received it first, that both rejected any possibility of sharing it, and even that a wealthy Edison refused to keep Tesla from getting the $20,000 prize. In the years after these rumors, neither Tesla nor Edison won the prize, although Edison did receive one of 38 possible bids in 1915. And Tesla did receive one bid out of 38 possible bids in 1937. In 1928, Tesla received his last patent, U.S. Patent 1655114, for a biplane capable of taking off vertical, VTOL aircraft, and then be gradually tilted through manipulation of the elevator device in flight until it was flying like a conventional plane. Tesla stated it would weigh 800 pounds and would sell at 1,000 for both military and consumer uses. Although the aircraft was probably impractical, it may be the earliest known design for what became the tilt-rotor, tilt-wing concept, as well as the earliest proposed for the use of turbine engines in rotor aircraft. Starting in 1934, the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company began paying Tesla $125 per month, as well as paying his rent at the Hotel New Yorker, expenses the company would pay for the rest of Tesla's life. Accounts of how this came about vary. Several sources say Westinghouse was worried about potential bad publicity surrounding the impoverished conditions their former star inventor was living under. It has been described as being couched in form of a consulting fee to get around Tesla's aversion to accept charity, or by one biographer, Mark Cypher, as a type of unspecified settlement. Tesla's previous debt owed to Hotel Governor Clinton was never satisfied. In 1934, Tesla wrote a Consul Junkovich of his homeland. The letter contained a message of gratitude to Mahajlo Kupin, who had initiated a donation scheme by which American companies could support Tesla. Tesla refused the assistance, choosing instead to live in a modest pension received from Yugoslavia and to continue his research. In 1935, in an annual birthday celebration interview, Tesla announced a method of transmitting mechanical energy with minimal loss over any terrestrial distance, a related new means of communications, and a method of accurately determining the location of underground mineral deposits. In the fall of 1937, after midnight one night, Tesla left the Hotel New Yorker to make his regular commute to the cathedral and the library to feed pigeons. While crossing a street a couple of blocks from the hotel, Tesla was unable to dodge a moving taxicab and was thrown heavily to the ground. Tesla's back was severely wrenched and 3 of his ribs were broken in the accident. The full extent of his injuries will never be known. Tesla refused to consult a doctor, an almost lifelong custom. Tesla didn't raise any questions as to who was at fault and refused medical aid, only asking to be taken to his hotel by a cab. Tesla was bedridden for some months and was unable to continue feeding pigeons from his window. Soon they failed to come. In the spring of 1938, Tesla was able to get up. He at once resumed the pigeon feeding, walks on a much more limited scale, but frequently had a messenger act for him.